Welcome to this Getresponse landing page tutorial. By the end of this tutorial, you're going to have a landing page that looks something like that, and you're going to learn how you can design your landing page from scratch. You will know how you can add sections, add elements without having to use a pre-made template. By the end, you'll be very proficient in working with landing pages in Getresponse. I'm also going to show you how you can add a custom domain like that. You can see this one is using a custom domain. You'll see how to do that by the end of this video. Back in 2018, I did a video about the best Getresponse landing page tutorial, and this video still holds today. So if you wanted to learn how to use Getresponse and be extremely proficient in it, I did this video. You can see this video is 1 hour long, so it is a very, very thorough video. And you can look at the comments to see what people are saying about it, but this video still holds. But today I want to do an update, and it may not be as thorough as this one. So I would suggest that you just go to Google, or you can go to YouTube and you can search for the best Getresponse landing page, and you can watch this one as well. So let's get started. Before we get to the tutorial, let's look at the Getresponse pricing plan. And you can look in the description, you will find the link to Getresponse. So if we come to pricing, you'll see there's a free plan, and sometimes you'll not see this, but it exists. These are the features that you're going to get with the free plan. You'll have one landing page you can build, and you can also build one website, and you can connect a domain and some other features in the free plan. You also have the paid plans where you'll have unlimited landing pages, and on the other plans, you can look at them if you're interested in the other features, but for now, I was only interested in showing you what you get as it pertains to landing pages. So let's get back. So if you want to get here, just go to the link in the description and you can get a full Getresponse free trial, 30 days free trial. So if you want to build a landing page, just come here under Tools, and then you'll go to Landing Pages. I don't have any landing page, so let's create one, and we're going to create one from scratch. That way we'll master how to create, edit, and publish our landing page much better. So before I start, let me just increase the font size of everything. Create landing page. You can choose a template and build from a template, and then you'd edit the templates. However, for me, I want you to learn how the landing page works and how you can remove and add features yourself. So that way you'll become much more proficient in working with Getresponse landing pages. So I'm just going to click here on show templates for the build from scratch, and you can choose one. So depending on what your objective is, if your objective is to get subscribers, you're definitely going to go with one that gives prominence to a form. If your objective is to sell something, then you're going to choose something that works well for that. So you can see this one here can be used for showing prices of different items, of comparing different items. For me, in my example, let's say I want to create a landing page for one of my free tutorials. So if I come here, I can go to courses, and let's say I want to create one for this. So I'm just going to click on it. And this is a free tutorial. If you want to host your website on a VPS, on a cloud server, you can use this tutorial. It's completely free. So let's say I want to create a landing page to market this. Let's see how we can do that. So I'm going to come here and let me choose one. So since it's a free tutorial, my priority may be to accumulate emails. So I can go with this. Let me just select this. There are certain templates that don't have a thank you page. So when you click on it and you see that it has a thank you page, then you can choose it, because we want one that has a thank you page. Once people do whatever you want them to do on the main landing page, you may want them to go to the thank you page where they will get a coupon, they'll get a redirect link to wherever they need to go. Like in my case, I'm going to give a link, so I definitely need a thank you page. So I'm going to name it. So I'm just going to give it the same name as that. Copy. And then we're going to come here and paste that and go to the next step. We want to give the same title as the one which is there, and we definitely want people to know that it is free. copy, and I will paste the name there. So all these items you can change. If you don't like the font color, you can definitely change it to something that is much more visible, like black. Or if you know any colors, you can always use the color code. So for me, let me choose that color. It's almost black, but it is not as black. That would be our title. And then here you want to give people an incentive. So of course it's free, but you want to get their email address. And that's what's important in email marketing. Depending on what you're giving out, come up with something that is enticing to the visitors. Control V. Learn how to run WordPress on a VPS using HTTP on Ubuntu 22.04 or Debian 11. That's that. All right, so we just jumped into designing the form without really explaining anything. So the thing you need to understand about the design, the way it goes, is that every item is in a section. So like this is one section, and you can add the different content items there. If you want to add another section, you can add another section. As you can see, this is one section, and you can add different items in this section. So under this, if you wanted to add another text, you just drag and drop your text in there. If you want to delete an item, just click on the recycle bin icon, and that's going to delete it. So if you want to add a section, you can click on that and just drag it down. So there is our section, this. So if you wanted to change the color of a section, they're called sections, right? Yes, the color of a section, you just double click on something, and then you can choose the different color that you want. Maybe for this, you want it to be black. You'll choose a black color and click OK. And even if you want to use an image, you can always come here and choose an image. You can use a gradient. So just know where you're starting from with your gradient. You can start with that, and then you can end there. And you can change how the gradient looks. So if that's what you wanted, then you would choose that. And then choose OK. If you want an image, just click on there and upload an image. Just click on add file, and then you can upload an image. But I'm just going to use one that is already here. You can also use free Getresponse images. I'll click OK. If you need to increase the height of a section, when you need to add more elements, you can do so. You can always click on there and then just drag it down. All right. You can see when you drag it beyond the width, beyond the height of the image will get repeated. You can add your brand logo. So I will replace the logo by adding my logo. So I'll use that logo. But since there's a white part, I'm going to choose an image in the background. So the image here, I don't know whether it's in the background. Let's look at this image. Is this one in the background, or that's just an image? So that's just an image you can add there. Of course, I don't need this. So I'm just going to click on it and delete it. Delete. I'll remove that, and you can see here as well. Let us change the background to use an image. And I will come to free Getresponse images. And I need something that is dark in color. This one seems okay. So you can use the free images provided by Getresponse. And then I will click OK. So for this one, definitely click on it and then change the color so that it can match your background. We can drag it up. And when you're dragging anything up, make sure that you take note of the green line that aligns items in the middle. Just a quick reminder that is very important. When you're working with the Getresponse landing page designer, make sure that you turn off your ad blocker, because I've found that it usually affects the functionality of the Getresponse landing page designer. So I've done something there. What did I do? I clicked on it and it came up. So what you can do, you can just make it go back down with the icons that are here. If you select any item, you'll see there are more options that you can use here. So I did change the background and it brought the background of the entire thing as an image. This may not be what you want, because you can see the image is showing up everywhere. So just click outside. You can remove the image and then click OK. So you can see the image is removed, and you just click outside and you can change the color and add the image again. That will be the image of your landing page. That will be the background of the entire landing page. Make sure you take note of that. If you want a different color for your background, you can change it here. If you change that, it will change the entire background. I will choose completely black for my background. You've seen how you can do that. This one as well, if you need to change anything, just click on the section and then you can change the background color of this section. If you want it to be completely white, you can change the background color and then save. If you see that this is too narrow, you need more space, just drag it up. And then this one here is one item. You can drag it down and make sure you take note of the green line that shows you where your item is. So if you want to align it, just align it to the green line. You can also increase the font. If you need to increase the font, increase the font. If you want to add a link on any item, just select it, click on it, and you can add a link. You can even link to other sections. So let's add something here. So how to run WordPress on a VPS. So, I mean, if you're going to market the page, you can use this. This is probably enough to get you what you need. But of course, you may need to add more items, more details for people who want to know more about what it is you're selling, what it is you're trying to market. If you do experience any problems while working with this, whereby there is no response or you're trying to click on something and it's not working, what you can do, just click there, refresh the page. Anything that is not working should work. That's something that you'll experience with Getresponse. Maybe I need to change the color of that into something more prominent. And the form, if you need to edit the form, or even if you don't want this form here, it's possible to just delete it and you can add it wherever you need to add it. So if you want to edit the form, just click there and you can change what you want to appear in your form. If you need to add any more fields, you can add as many fields as you want. If you want to create consent fields, there is a section for consent fields that you can do within your contacts. But I'm not going to deal with that now. So for here, let's click on this and see if we have any options for this. If we double click on it, we can change the color of the text that is in there. The button as well, we may want to make it full width so that it is the same width as the form. I can add more information about the course. I'll just drag in text. I will change the color. Let's change it to white and see how that is going to work. So let's make this bigger. Let's make it 50. And we can increase the width. We can align it in the center about this course. So if you want to align the text in the middle, you can align it in the middle. And there used to be a background image, background color. I think, is it there? Yeah, you can do a background color. Let's say we want it to be black, but with an opacity of somewhere there. Say okay. So just adding a space in there should create some padding for it. you want to create a listing of what people should expect for the course, just come in here. I can just copy some item from this side. I'm just going to copy that, and I will come back, Control V, then Control A, and I'm going to reduce the font. Can I make it at a list? Yes, I can make it a list. Change the font color, and then we're going to give it a background. We're going to give the background color for the text black with an opacity. Okay, this doesn't look as good. So for this, we'll need to change an image. So since you're going to be designing this based on your needs, what you'll need to do is you'll definitely need to design this image so that it works well with the text that you add. So in my case, it's not working well. So what I would do if I was building this, I would change the color of the image. I would add some kind of dark shade of the image right here. These are some things that if you don't know how to do, you can hire people on Fiverr to help you do. So I'm going to come there, and that's the color. Where is the color? The background color. I'm just going to make it transparent. And okay, of course, I will need to change the image. Let me find an image that has darkness around it. So click anywhere outside, but make sure you're clicking inside of this section. So I'm going to double click, and I can choose a different image. Free Getresponse images. I need one. Yeah, this one looks like it would work. Yeah, this one can definitely work. So I'm going to go with this one. And for this one as well, since we've changed that, let's remove the background shade. And then for the image, so if you needed to, or you need a gradient, you can actually do that. Position of the image, you can also. So as for the image, I'm going to choose it to be there because I want to add my text on this side. And then okay. So you can see you can make your design look really nice if you take the time to do so. I'll remove that, and let's just copy it once again. So I will copy that, and let's bring it back to our landing page. Control V, Control A. Let's change the color back to white. And then we're going to increase the font, and let's align it. We can increase the line height. If this is non-trivial information, you can actually reduce the font. That way you don't really care whether people read it, but it's just there for a little bit of SEO. You can also increase the length of that if you want it to fit in one line. So if you need to add more sections, you can do so. Like, let's just do one example with another section. So if I drag it down, I can put it down there. Control Z to undo. So just in case you want to know, there are keyboard shortcuts that you can use. If you come here and you go to the FAQ, you're going to see there are keyboard shortcuts that you can do. For instance, if you want to duplicate something, you can do Control D. If I click on that and I do Control D, that's going to duplicate it, and I can move it. This one will also duplicate it, but you can move it just by clicking on it. So maybe on this side, you have some other information you want to put. You can also put it on this side. So that's just an example for duplication. If you need to duplicate something, you can do Control D. There are a lot more. Just come here and look at the options that are available. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it somewhere here. And then once I do that, I can just move it down, and our section will be down here. So let's say for this one, we want it to be white. There are all these other elements that you can add. So maybe let's see if we can add something specific. Images, you can add an image, yes, but that is not what I need to add there. You can also add forms. If you needed to add a form, you can see you have static forms and pop-up forms. So this is one of those things where I'm just going to tell you, if you need to try anything, just feel free to grab it and add it on this side. So I will add it and then delete it. For the pop-up as well, just feel free to drag an item and then you can choose the type of pop-up you want to add. So you can see your landing page gives you the capability to add a pop-up. All right, the settings for your pop-up are there. You can design your pop-up. For this, I'm just going to save. And once I save, of course, I want to delete it. Now, these are just shapes. If you need to add shapes, you can add a shape and then put something inside there. Let's double click on it, and then we're going to change the color, and let's change it to that green. And is it possible to add a text within it? Yes. So if you need to add a text, within that, you can add your text in there. So of course, if it is white, you definitely need a better color. So I'm just going to double click on it, and then I can change the color to black. For instance, if you want to add another one there, just add it. Maybe you want to add, let's double click on it to change the color. And we're going to change the color for this one to blue. Okay. And I'm going to bring text right there again. So the text doesn't fit. Of course, you can always reduce the length, the width of anything. And to move it, just click outside and then you can drag it. Definitely change the color to something visible like white. And then increase the width. Put that there. And you can see you can align elements. You can see the top of this is at the bottom of that. So let's try to align it. There we go. I think now they're aligned. Maybe you still want to add that in there. Maybe for that you just want it to be an empty shape and you're going to add a color. You can add text or whatever you want to add inside there. You can even drag in a button. Let's see if we can drag in a button here. Change the size of the button. So for some reason, this has got to be one word. I can't make something like get it. So I'll just use get. And for that, we want the color, the background color, we want it to be white. And then for the text, can I change the color of the text? Yes, I can. I can do it here and make it black. Okay. Now the good thing, the reason why it's nice to have sections is because it makes it easy for you to design the mobile version of your landing page. This is a desktop version. If you want to make this mobile friendly, you'll click there and you're going to see it's pretty messed up, but don't worry, we're going to do that in a moment. For now, let's see how we can end this by adding a video down here. So since we already know that we can use these shapes, what we're going to do, we're going to use one of these shapes. But first, let's add a section. So I'm going to drag in a section down there. I know when I see that blue line, I can add it there and it will come in the middle of these two. It will be placed in the middle of these two and I can just drag it down. And then once I do that, I can change its color. And for this one, I want the background to be a solid color. You can even make it a gradient that goes from black to some sorts of gray. Okay, now let's use this. We're going to add one there. and we can also increase the height of that. We'll see if we can add an image, we can add a video on this side. So for that, we're going to change the color, double click on it, change the color to something like white. I will use that. So if you don't want the gradient, you can always go with a solid color, which is what I want to do. On this one as well, double click on it and change the color. For this side, I can choose an image. Let me just choose that because it is one color. Something is not right. Let's remove that. Let us choose a different color, a different image. Of course, using too many images will also make your landing page load slower. That's something you need to keep in mind. So reduce the size to make it visible. Okay. So on this end, let's see if we can add an image. We can add a video, I mean. So I'm just going to bring that in there. Double click on it and enter the link to your video. And for this, I can just use this video as a sample, share, copy, come back, and I'm going to put this in here. Control A, Control V, and then let's look at the settings. What do we have? Controls, you can show controls, you can hide, you can autoplay, you can loop. So that's important. Let's just leave them as they are. If you want to autoplay, check that, and so on and so forth. You're just going to click on Embed. So at this point, we can say that's all we want to do. Or one last thing we can do is we can add the call to action. This call to action, we can add it down here as well. So the first part I'm going to add, let me just do that in another section because sections are free. So I'm going to add another section down here. When it turns blue, that's when you drop it. And we're going to copy that. Control C, and then we're going to bring down text there. Control V. Let's make this one really, really huge. Let's go up to 40. And then down here, we want to add a form, static form. So let's just drop it there. So this is what I was saying. If something is tiny, if the space you have is not enough, you can always increase your sections. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Let me remove it for now because I want to increase it first. So just find this. Once you find that, you can drag it down to increase the section width, the section height, I mean. And then we're going to drop in our form right there. And even if you want to, now that you know how to put things in sections, you can even align them just like that. This one as well, if you don't like how the design is, you can always change it. We bring this a little bit down and we reduce the width of that. Now, unfortunately, when you reduce it, you have to do the same for all the others because there will be some space there and you definitely don't want some empty space. This one's as well. You can bring these ones down, but I'm not going to deal with that. We're just going to bring that up. And then we're going to end it there. So let's assume this is our landing page. That's the first part. Now the next part, we look at the thank you page. So the thank you page is where you're going to give out what you're giving out if you're giving out anything. So for the brand logo, we will choose my files. From my files, I know I have a logo and I will use this, but for that, let me use an image to cover everything. Okay, so for me, I was giving out the link and the image here. I can use any image if I want to, or even if I don't want this, I can just delete it. Congratulations, here is your gift. I will delete that. Of course, this is not aligned. The button, let's use this. Click the button below to get access. So let's come back and we're going to copy the link. And if somebody wants to learn how they can host their website, they can just click there. First of all, I will change the call to action. So why can't I can't write 2 words. So I'm just going to use join. For this, I can see there's 2 words. So I'm just going to leave join, and then I'm just going to do join now. Join now. Definitely, I don't like the color. I'm going to change it to something like red color. Not the color of that button color. Okay. So the button, or remove that, that's an image. Okay. So that's our thank you page. You join and then you get the link. Click on it and then we can add the link. Click there to add the link. So of course it will be a web address. You can link to anything, anywhere, any of these other details. Copy link. Copy link. That's what I need. Paste. And then you can give it a title. Join it now. You want it to open in a new window? Yes. So that's our thank you page designed. When people sign up, they will come here and they can click on join now. Let's start with the thank you page for the mobile design. You want the landing page, you want your landing page to be responsive. So I'm just going to click there on that. And we're going to say, okay, let's go. And you can see for the mobile version, it's not that bad. Really, it's not bad. This can work on a mobile phone, so we're going to leave it as it is. Let's go back to this one. You definitely have to design it so that it works well on your mobile devices as well. I'm just going to click on it and then we're going to say, okay, let's go mobile. And it's not as bad. And the reason why it's not as bad is because I used sections. If you use sections, then you'll see that it's not as bad. The only thing I may need to do is try to increase the size of different items. All right, you can see there, maybe this is too big. What's the font size of that? That's 30. This one should definitely be bigger. Let's give that one 50. Let's take it all the way to 65. That's for the mobile version. These ones as well. Let us bring them down. In fact, if you don't want certain elements on your mobile version, you can always remove them. Even on the mobile version, if you don't want this image because it's not working well, just click on it and you can change the position of the image. And you'll see the image goes to the other side. Let us increase the width, the height I mean, for that. And we drag the entire thing down, drag this one down, drag this one down. There you go. drag it down, drag it down. And of course, for these ones, you need to interchange them. And first of all, reduce the font down to like 30, and then reduce it down to 30. And then we're going to bring this one up, and this one will follow. So it depends on how you want your landing page and the message that you want to send. The line height for this. So it seems I can't add the line height for that. Maybe change it on this side. It's going to affect how it is on a mobile version. Let's look at the mobile. Yeah, and it will increase it on the mobile version as well. So if you need to add anything to your landing page, then you can do so. But for me at this point, I feel this is enough to show you how you can design your landing page. Even if you get one of those templates that are pre-made, you can always change the content. Now you know how to change it. Even if you start with one of those, then you can still change yours. That is how you can design a Getresponse landing page. If you need to add any other elements here, you can see there's a PayPal. You can connect your PayPal. Once you connect PayPal, you can add your PayPal buttons here. If you create PayPal buttons on PayPal, then you can put the PayPal buttons here. Like for instance, if you're selling an item, maybe that's the image for the item. You just drag in one of your PayPal, and this can be done under integration. There's a video I did a long time ago. I don't know that it still applies, but you can try and check if that video is going to help you. PayPal, Getresponse PayPal. Just search for Getresponse PayPal on YouTube, and you're definitely going to see one video that I did some time back. Any of these other elements, if you want to add them, you can always add any element here that you need to add on your landing page. So at this point, I can save this. I can save it as a template. Therefore, the next time I need to design another landing page, I can use the same design. I'll just change the content. Make sure the images you're using are relevant to the product you're selling. If you're selling a product, that is. One thing you may need to add here is testimonials. If you need to add testimonials, just go ahead and use things like this. Put somebody's image and then text down here, and you can add testimonials. You can even use this to add your testimonials. If you need to save and exit, you can save and exit. You can just click save, and it's going to save your latest changes. Now let's go to the next step. But before I even do that, there is this part here. You can click on this part. You can add a description. This is an SEO description. If this page, you've written a lot of content, it will probably rank in search engines. With that in mind, make sure you edit the description of your page. Cookies notification, you can set that on or off depending on where you are and depending on who your visitors are going to be. You can add a favicon. You can upload a favicon for your website, My Files. A favicon usually is just like the icon of your logo. If you have an icon for the logo, use that as your favicon. And then Facebook, you can share this link on Facebook, and when you do, there's an image that maybe you want to be the prominent image on Facebook. Once you do all this, click on save, and even before, let's look. Changes have not been saved, or what was that? Leave that as it is, and if you want to look at the HTML version of this, you can do so. After you've made changes to the HTML code of your landing page, you might not be able to further edit it in the drag and drop editor. So that's important to note, okay? If you want to use this as a baseline for your HTML, you may not be able to use the drag and drop editor anymore. So if you don't know what you're doing, just don't deal with the HTML editor. We can click there on preview to preview our landing page. That's what it's like on the mobile device and the desktop version as well. There is your landing page. So you'll notice that if you use an image, the image is not going to go all the way. If you use a color, you can see color goes all the way. So if you want to use an image, make sure you're using an image that is wide enough. Make sure you design your image so that it can go all the way, the width of the browser, the width of the page. So that's pretty much it. Let's come back here and we're going to go to the next step. So the next step is the settings for your landing page. There you go. Now you can see I don't have a domain. You can also choose not to index it in search engines, but of course this is probably something you need to do. Landing page URL settings. So you can change that there. If no one else has this domain, you can use it with a free Getresponse domain. And you can also add a new domain. There are two ways to assign your domain to your landing page. You can change DNS settings or add a CNAME entry. The video I did was for website builder, and for the website builder, you needed to change the name servers. However, for a landing page, I can see that you only need to change, you can change the CNAME record, which is a good thing. This means you can use it anywhere. So let's say I try to add a domain. You can add a full domain. Okay, this is why it's possible to add a CNAME. So you can add a full domain or a subdomain. For instance, my domain is called Bizanosa.com. So if I wanted to create a landing page for Getresponse, I would add Bizanosa.com there, but of course this is not going to work because I can't use my full domain because it's already pointing somewhere else. If yours is not, you can try to use the full domain. However, you have an option to use a subdomain. So a subdomain would be something like landingpage.bizanosa.com or blog.bizanosa.com. For this, I'm just going to use the word landing.bizanosa.com. And then I can say add domain. You'll see it gives me this domain. Unfortunately, this domain is not active yet. And this means that I will still need to wait. And the reason I'm waiting is because I've not added the settings. So if I need to use this domain, I will have to change DNS records or add a CNAME. I would need to add a CNAME on my provider. But if you need help with this, you can just let me know. And then you can choose the subscription list. Any subscribers that subscribe on your landing page, which list do you want them to go to? And then add into cycle on day. If you have autoresponders, you can add them into your autoresponders from a certain day. And then the thank you page, of course, the default thank you page, or you can redirect. Or you can even stay on the same page and they will not see the thank you page. Or you can choose a custom thank you page and you can add a custom URL. A custom URL for the thank you page. So the thank you page, you can even add the link for wherever you're giving out there as the thank you page. But I'll just use the default thank you page. Analytics and reporting, you can add all this if you have them connected to Getresponse. You can click on all of this and see what they're about. And chat window, if you want to enable Getresponse chats, you can do so. If somebody has a message, they can ask you something on the landing page. So I'm just going to click on publish right now. So you can see this did not change. There's probably a way to change it. So you can create another landing page. If you're on the free plan, you will not be able to create another one. View your landing page online. You can view it, manage your landing pages. So this is where I want to go. I want to go and see the options that I have once I've published the landing page. Edit page. If you need to change anything, you can edit the page. And for now, I'm just going to save and exit. And then you can edit settings. Where do I get the CNAME records for this? Add a CNAME record. Once you are in the settings sections, create a CNAME record for your subdomain that points to that. All right. I get it now. So if you want that landing page to connect to Getresponse, just copy that and create a CNAME record for the domain. So let me just do a quick sample. I don't know whether I'm logged into my Cloudflare. So go to the domain provider. If you're using Cloudflare, go to Cloudflare. If you're not using Cloudflare, then go wherever. I'm on Cloudflare. I'm just going to go into DNS and let's say the domain that I chose, I want to use a different domain, not that one, but I'm going to use landing dot whichever. So let's say I add a new domain and let's call it land dot, and the domain sample that I want to use is that. Copy, paste. So land.bizanosa.club, add domain, and then you can choose land.bizanosa.club, and then here they say that if you want to add the domain, where is that? If you want to add that domain so that it can point to your landing page, just copy this and create a CNAME record. So I'm going to come back here and let me create a CNAME record, add record, and we're going to create a CNAME, and the name is land, and we want the target, or in your case it will probably be called value, to go to squeeze, and we do not want to proxy that because we don't know whether Getresponse supports proxy on Cloudflare. So if somebody goes to land.bizanosa.club, let's see if it's going to redirect them to our landing page. So it usually takes a while, but I know Cloudflare is pretty fast, and it has surprised me in the past by being instantaneous. Let us see if that's going to bring us. Okay, so you can see the landing page. It has already connected, but we haven't chosen this as our domain. So if you want this to be your domain, you're going to have to come down here and publish. And once you publish and you redirect and we come back, let's see what's going to happen. So I think I should just give it time, but the fact that it is doing this means that the domain is working. You can also add www, add record, add CNAME record, and we're going to add www.land, and we want this to go to, it will be a CNAME of this one. Copy. So we can save. Okay. Yeah, on Cloudflare, make sure you turn off the proxy. I will save. Turn off the proxy for Getresponse. So at this point, let us go back to manage our landing page, and the domain. Let's edit the settings. We want the domain link to link to our Getresponse page. So assign your own domain. So we've already assigned our own domain. So this is optional. I'm not going to assign that. This domain isn't active yet. We are verifying the DNS records for this domain. The check can take up to 24 hours. So what you need to do is just wait, but that's how you can add your domain. And since it is showing this, this means that the CNAME is working. On my end, the CNAME is working. I just need to wait for Cloudflare, for Getresponse to notice that the domain is working, and that way they're going to show my landing page here because I've already chosen the landing page to be there. So the moment it tells me the domain is active, then I will be able to visit my domain using this. Right now, I can't visit using this because it has not even provided the SSL, and let us try to access it using www.land, and you can see this one is showing our landing page. So you can see it's a good idea to have both of them. Let us see if this is going to work. This is still not working. Just wait, give it time. Everything will be okay. So just give it time. Once SSL has been issued, you should see your website on this link. So that is how you can work with Getresponse landing pages. I know the video is long, but trust me, it is worth it. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And if you need services whereby you want to put your website on a VPS, on a cloud, you're migrating it from one server to another, feel free to talk to me. See you next time in another video.